Freedom for Chemical Dependency is an organization coming to our school next week.
They will have recovering alcoholics and drug addicts come to our campus, and they will talk to us about their experiences and the dangers of drugs and alcohol.
So why do people do drugs?
Because some people think it's cool, and also because of peer pressure, and others are doing it.
But bad things that drugs do to people. So this scares me. So why would people want to do drugs?
Actually, scare tactics have been proven not to be the most effective way to stop people from doing drugs.
But what about campaigns like Just Say No and Dare?
To find out how to help people make the right decision, we have to look at why people start doing drugs in the first place. Peer pressure, and because they think everyone else is doing it.
I expected that at some point it was something I was going to do. At least drink. Because of what I saw my parents do, messages I was getting on a cultural level. And then once I did that, I continued to do it because I liked the way it made me feel. I had no idea that by the time I was done, it was going to, I was going to struggle with addiction. And that wasn't entering my mind at all. It's going to make me feel the complete opposite and take everything away from me that mattered.
And part of it's just that the anticipation of feeling. You say drugs, but we can relate it to like energy drinks. If you've never had it, then your only reference to it is what you've heard other people say about it, what media influences are about it. So because of that, I think a lot of times people are curious about the feeling that's attached, not realizing that addiction comes along with that, and dependency comes along with that. But I think that people that have an opportunity to, one, have continued education, two, experience natural highs or healthy highs without substances, subsequently, develop better mentally and socially, and are just in a better place to make choices and decisions that affect them long term.
So how can we stop people from doing drugs?
We use something called social norms. Wesley Perkins is a professor of sociology, and he has shown that an approach using social norms is proven to help people make the right decision. Social norms shows what percent of people do drugs and binge drink, and it turns out not to be a very high percentage. When others see this, they will want to go with the majority of the people who don't do these things.
I see why this would help.
So what percent of people do you think do drugs?
In the school or the world?
In the world.
In the world, I'd say about 38.39624.
What percent of people do you think do drugs?
10%.
So what percent of people do you think do drugs?
I think 55%.
45%. Like 30%?
19%.
20%, 25%.
15%? 36? I don't know.
Let me do a number crunch here. 25.3, repeating of course.
It's actually 5%.
What?
It's actually 5%.
What? That's a lie.
It's actually 5%.
Oh
What?
my
That's
gosh.
That's not very many people.
It's actually 5%.
Wow. Oh, damn.
Percent of people in the world do drugs, according to the World Drug Report from the United States Office on Drugs and Crime.
So people think a lot more people do drugs than they actually do.
This is probably why they feel pressure to do drugs, but if they knew about social norms, that would save thousands of drug addicts in this world.